Welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we are looking at Batman the Knight, Issue 1. This is a 10-part miniseries from DC Comics in 2022, written by Chip Zdarsky, art and cover by Carmine Di Giandomenico, color by Ivan Plascencia, lettering by Pat Brosseau, edited by Ben Abernathy. So Bruce Wayne has been getting in some fights and getting in trouble at the boarding school, and then we kind of jump forward a little bit through these talking sessions he has with Dr. Hugo Strange. And he's obviously right around college age when these talks are being done, and we see flashbacks of him going through this private school at Gotham, and then Alfred kind of lecturing him. He keeps having nightmares about his parents being killed, and we find out that he's talking to his friend Dana, and Bruce is thinking about being a police officer who doesn't carry a gun, because that makes sense. But she thinks that he could do more with his wealth and influence and be bigger than that, than some low-level street cop. We also see him exercising and working out and using various sneaky tactics, like giving this kid rashes and stuff like that. And he also is engaging in underground fight clubs, which Alfred is very annoyed with. Now, some of this is a little bit out of character for Bruce Wayne because it shows him being a bit of a show-off at times, especially with his athletic prowess. And I don't think that really quite fits. Otherwise, these scenes with Hugo Strange were actually pretty good because it does build on what's being said in a different way than you would expect as a result. And the scenes with the Fight Club thing were kind of interesting because Bruce is very angry, and Alfred is very angry as well. So there's a very fatherly moment with Alfred that's pretty cool, but it does look like this is building up to showing a little bit more of Bruce's youth and how he builds his repartee. It goes into details more about the young aspect in this issue. This is probably going to be better off read as a trade paperback. There's a lot of detailing in here, and there's some action, but I think it's a little bit out of character for Bruce to be such a showboater. And I'm not a fan of this art style. It's very sketchy. It's got a very heavy manga influence, which I really hate because everything looks very disproportionate at times. The style that it's in, though, it's not bad for what it is. It's just not a style that I like at all. I think it's very, very manga heavy, and I'm not a manga person. I like Western comic art, but that's only because I don't like this style. For what it is, I'm sure it's fine. But coming at $5, I think it's a little overpriced. Maybe the other issues will be a little better, but for now, I'm not overly impressed. It's not bad. It's just not something terribly new. We've seen Bruce Wayne become Batman before, and although this does go into more of his youth, I think it's not that exciting for me because I've already read books like this. As a new iteration of the origin of Batman, it seems fine. It's just going to take a while to really build up to interesting stuff. And this was a setup issue more than anything else, and for that it did fine. It's just as a single issue, it's really not bringing anything new to the table that is going to compel me to spend $5 each month. So if you read it as a trade, it might be a better service to the story. Whereas by this issue itself, it really just didn't have any wow factor. I think it is going to pick up though, so I'm going to give it another issue. In the meantime, I would say pick this one up at a less than cover price, because cover price of $5 really isn't worth it. You get a lot of story, but the art is really a hindrance to it because of the disproportionate weird gangly people and bizarre positioning at times, and the really heavy manga influence I don't think helped this story. So if you're gonna pick it up, get it less than $5 or buy it in trade, and I would say get it in trade because it's going to be a lot cheaper in the long run. That's gonna do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to ways you can support me, including the merchandise store, and as always, we hope to see you on the next one.